Hey guys, my name is Alex and today I will be showing you how to do Kim's game with the smartboard. Kim's game is usually played with real objects hidden in a bag. You show the students the objects by taking them out of the bag, and then you let the students look at the objects for about 1 minute. After that, you put all the objects back in the bag and the students have to write down the names of as many objects as they can remember. The students can do this individually or in teams, using a round table structure or a heads together one, for example. In an ESL class, Kim's game is usually used to teach new vocabulary. It is especially useful when teaching specific categories of words. It can also be used as a pre-activity to activate prior knowledge. Kim's game is a great activity that promotes memory and observation skills. Now, I'm going to show you how to set up this activity using the Smart Notebook software. The first step to creating Kim's game is to add color to your background. Since my activity is about recycling, I'll use green. There you go. The second step is to write the words that you want your students to learn. You can use as many words as you want, but I would not recommend using more than 15 words since it would be hard for students to learn them all and the images on your slide would be too small. For this activity, I'll be using 10 items. Okay, so let's write down the first word, which is egg box. There you go. And our second word, which is banana peel. There you go. Once you've written all the words, like this, and place them where you want them on the slide, the third step is to lock the words in place. To avoid doing them one by one, a neat trick is to use the arrow to select all the items and then use a drop-down box in the corner of one item to lock them all in place. It's really important to lock the words in place because if you don't, you'll probably end up moving the words instead of the images while playing the game. Okay, now that this is done, the fourth step is to insert images of your items on the slide. You can always try to find the images in the gallery. For example, egg box. But as you can see, I usually don't find what I want there. So my solution is simply to do a Google search to find what I want. Okay, so let's go on Google and look for a banana peel. In images. And I personally like to use clip arts. So in the search tool, I select clip art. Okay, so I like this one. I then copy the image and simply paste it on my slide. Okay, so let's resize it. And voila! So this is what it looks like with all the images. Depending on what you want to do and on the level of your students, you can either place the images above your words or directly on your words, like this, hiding the words. This last option is especially useful if you want to first ask your students if they know any of the words to activate their prior knowledge. You can always slide the images up like this once they've told you the names of the items. If you need to move a word, you can always unlock it using the drop-down box in the corner of the item. And this way you can move it around. Just don't forget to lock it back in place once you're done moving it. Like this. Okay, now the fifth step is to add a timer to your slide. You can find the timer in the gallery. Simply search for the word. And in interactive and multimedia, simply drag it where you want it. And then set the time. Like this. When you play the game with your students, you'll first show them the words and then give them some time to try to memorize them. That's when you'll use this timer. When the timer reaches 0, you can hide your slide by using a screen shade. Here. This is essentially the last step. To remove this screen shade, you can click on the icon or click on the red X in the corner, like this. So basically, there are 6 steps to creating a Kim's game with a smartboard. Step 1 is to add a background. Step 2, to write down the words. Step 3, to lock the words in place. Step 4, to insert images of your items. Step 5, to add and set a timer. And finally, step 6 is to add a screen shade to hide your slide. Of course, don't forget to save your file. Again, this is Alex, and I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for watching.